people, please join me in saying happy birthday to our friend Sam here. It was her birthday yesterday.
I don't pay any attention to my birthday.
You always wear a crown.
Oh, am I wearing a crown? Oh, thank you. Last Saturday night special, the one we had on Saturday, that I should never be handed an instrument of percussion. It can be dangerous, and I don't know what to do with it. I can sing harmony, I have zero rhythm. So I would like to officially, in front of all these people, apologize if I fucked you up when you were trying to sing, and I was over there with the cowbell going.
Alright, this is a song about my mama. It's called Mama's Jam.
He did leave the cowbell. Hi, he left the cowbell? No, the cowbell needs to stay there, though. I should not be interested with any... when I'm involved, no more cowbell. I should have muted. I'll shake my water bottle. I can pretend I'm making noise. Or just the cowbell with no stick. Just cowbell, no stick. That's gonna be the name of my second memoir. Just cowbell, no stick. Remember when I get applause for keeping my clothes on? Now I get applause for not hurting myself. Oh, God.
I read something recently that you know how old you are when you fall down if people laugh or run to see if you're okay. Yep, and I think you're either under 5 or over a certain age when they run to see if you're okay. And anything in between, they laugh.
Yeah.
I bet the people laugh. I mean, come to check.
I am absolutely people come to check.
And laugh, but both, for me.
Yeah.
Because usually it's spectacular. Like, hair.
You have a soundtrack that just suddenly appears when
I
you
do.
trip.
And like those lines of bright light. Like in cartoon, the stars.
Little Tweety birds show up. Oh, I don't even get embarrassed when I fall down anymore. I'm like, fucking gravity. Should we take some questions?
Sure.
They know who we are. Hello.
Hi. So my question, I'm sorry, Sam, my question's for Kim too.
It's okay, Sam can answer it too.
Okay,
I'll just go.
Well, you know what, Sam? You might be able to answer this, Sam.
It's okay, I have questions for Kim too.
I know Kim can answer this. You might be able to answer it too. So first of all, Kim, thank you for adopting all of us on TikTok. We appreciate it.
I have always been a mom type. Like, even I was playing mom when I started. Right? I mean, everything cast is mom. And it used to just infuriate me. And now I've finally been like, oh no, it's the real me.
It's your essence.
It's my essence. I am mom. So I have absolutely no problems with adopting everybody. There's enough love to go around, and I'm proud of all of you. Because it takes a world of effort just to keep breathing some days. I'm not even going to say get out, because you know what? I'm proud of you if you don't get out of bed today. Because God damn it, you take care of yourself.
My question is, what the hell was with the DJ, ancient pyramids, Egyptian? What the hell was with all that?
True story. I'm sorry. Everybody who knows what the story is, please raise your hands. You'll have to find one of these people and ask them. It's a secret. We fuck around a lot at the PJ party. And now our fuckery is evolving into, expanding. Yes, it's just PJ party fuckery expanding. Yes, it started with, oddly enough, Chad Lindbergh. Because pretty much all fuckery can be traced back to Chad Lindbergh.
Safe. It's a
Yeah, that's a safe bet. That's a safe bet. So yes, it was just PJ party fuckery.
Any of these kind people will be glad to explain it to you.
Yeah.
Would you like to see them again? They can all stand up with you.
Yay! But yeah, no, and that's, you don't have to accept, that's all the answer, that's all there is. We were just fucking around at the PJ party and coming up with rumors.
It came up several questions this morning.
5, there's 5 questions, and they had to be in order. They had to be in order.
But I want you to spell it.
Oh no, it's okay. So Chad Lindbergh started this. He said, "What do you do at the PJ party?" And I'm like, "PJ party stuff." And he goes, "Do you? What are the questions he asked?" He said, "First is like, do you wear pajamas?" And I was like, "At the PJ party, yes, we do, yes." And he said, "Do you eat pizza?" I was like, "Yeah, we do, as a matter of fact." And he said, he asked if we gossiped and then made up rumors. And I said, "No." And he said, "Damn it." I said, "What? Would you feel better if we made up rumors about you?" And he said, "I really would, I truly would." So I went into this Denver's PJ party and I was like, we have to come up with a rumor about Chad Lindbergh. So it became a 5-part, it has to be 4 or 5 parts. And Chad Lindbergh's question was first, is it true that you were on the run from the authorities for tax evasion from your whittling business? Like, we gotta start with something that makes them go, the fuck? And everybody in the audience go, ugh, I thought I knew you.
So they said that like during the pandemic you kind of started your own whittling company.
My own what?
Whittling company.
What's that?
Clearly that's not true. But it's like where you like take wood and you make like little figurines out of it. And there was something about tax evasion. I was wondering if you could clarify that for us.
Tax evasion. In little figurines?
Little figurines of all things.
Alright. This is what I'm gonna say. I feel like you're a spy. I feel like maybe somebody put you up to this. I feel like maybe this somebody, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Kim Rhodes. Okay, you don't know who she is, fine. Fine by me, I'll play. I know not of what you speak of.
So this morning,
He confirmed it all to be true.
yeah, he confirmed it all to be true. And then, this morning we had he kicked out of university 2 classes before getting his degree in Egyptology. Was he kicked out because he forged some hieroglyphics on a tablet. Finally, does he have a food truck in Los Angeles named Mummy in My Dummy? Is that pretty much what came out? Yeah, is that what came out? Yeah, so that's...
Did he confirm or deny this rumor?
Yes, that's true. He denied it.
He just yelled, "Oh, Kim Rhodes!" Like he was who did it.
Why am I the one? This is 2 weeks in a row.
I have a tiara.
It's all my fault. It's all me. Yeah, the hijinks we get up to.
Hey, I've got a question for you. I got a question for both of you. Sam, you posted on Twitter the other day trying to figure out what a Tootsie Roll was. Did you ever figure out what it was?
A what?
Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
What is a Tootsie Roll? What is it? No, even then, what is it? Is it chocolate?
Yeah.
Is it caramel? Is it taffy? Is it just sugar? Is it
Icing. Okay, that's like asking what the flavor of Dr. Pepper is.
Right.
Oh, thank fucking God.
It's like, this is one of my best friends on the planet, and I don't even know you. That's my favorite part, that she actually believed it was possible. I didn't know, because she knows me so well. She's like, oh my God, that's shocking, but we have to fix this right now. We're all going to 7-Eleven. That's right. Like, what the fuck is it?
What is it supposed to be?
Right. It doesn't know. I did learn, thanks to you guys, that it was one of the things included in the soldiers' packets during World War II because it wouldn't melt like regular Hershey bars or whatever. It was like I'm like, that's encouraging and also scary because soldiers are given all kinds of horrible things. They're like, eat this. They're like, okay. I'm like, no! And there's also a thing where I'm like, I really want a Tootsie Roll. And I eat one, it's great, and I eat the next one, and I'm like, I have to spit it out. Like it's just, because, what is it?
It's Tootsie Roll flavored.
It's not the flavor.
It's Tootsie Roll.
Yeah,
It's just Tootsie Roll.
exactly. It's like
It's its own thing. Yeah, is it? No, yeah, don't think. You're thinking. Jared used to say that to me on set. I'd be like, but wait a minute. He'd be like, you're thinking! Don't think. Don't think about it. It's just Tootsie Roll.
It's Tootsie Roll.
So my question is for Kim, but Samantha, you are super strongly encouraged to comment if you have any personal experience.
Well, I can also just do like a backup dance while she answers.
So as an equestrian myself, I thought that it was super cool. Someone on a show that I really love. Also an equestrian, I thought that was really the coolest thing ever. So my question is, like, what was that thing or experience that really sparked your passions for horseback riding and for teaching lessons?
Oh dear. Okay, so I've been riding for about 7 years. I've been sober for about 7 years. Like 10 years ago, if you said, are you an adrenaline junkie who needs to kill herself almost on a daily basis, I would have said, no. And then I got sober and I was like, oh, I'm an adrenaline junkie and I need to come close to killing myself on a daily basis. However, after almost killing myself a couple of times and winding up in the hospital, it hurts. So Sam came over and bedazzled my back. Did you see that? I put it up on Instagram, I think.
I felt compelled to bedazzle her back brace.
She came and bedazzled my back brace.
It was sparkly.
So it's the only thing I do where I'm not in my head and thinking about what I'm supposed to do next. Because if I'm not 100% connected with what's going on, then this tiny little brain up here gets ideas. And that's not great for me. Thank you. I know, I wish I had a more exciting, like, oh, the passion, and I've always, but no, really, honestly, I was just like, somebody put me on a horse because my brain wouldn't shut up. And I was like, oh, this is like meditating.
Well, I mean, you chose that over, bungee jumping or something else. Yes, because horses are very, they're what's the word? Therapeutic.
They are.
They're spiritual, like an angel creature. So it makes
they can also be devil creatures.
Devil creature, right? But as we know, angels are dicks. So,
right? Yeah. And then, the second part was I started teaching because I haven't worked for 2 years and I couldn't afford to keep riding. And they said, we can work harder. And I was like, I'm in. So, yes. So now I teach horseback riding for little ones.
that's right.
My question is for Kim. Where you say you kind of keep in touch with Dylan and Cole through social media, but I was wondering if you ever gave life advice, whether life or just acting to Ashley and Brenda.
Yes. So before I embarrass myself and possibly get in deep shit for answering this question, let me be clear. You asked if I ever gave them life advice in real life when we were working together.
Yeah, because they were they were in their teenage years.
Okay, I'm really glad I took the second because I'm not going to tell you the story I was about to tell you because it would really embarrass them. I'm not going to fucking Look, here's something that y'all have taught me. My children, either real or imagined, are not extensions of me, and I do not have the right to tell things that would upset them without their consent. My kid, somebody else's kid, So yes, I have got a really fucking awesome story, and I'm not going to tell you about it. That said, how about this? Here's the relationship we had. I can tell this because it happened in front of an audience. So I got pregnant when I was on the show, which meant Carrie started gaining weight. And they dealt with it, they being the writers, like all writers, by making fun of Carrie getting fat. And Dylan had a line making fun of Carrie getting fat, and he just skipped it. He just constantly kept skipping it. He just skipped it and went right to the next one, and finally we're in front of an audience. He skipped it. The executive producer is like, cut, stop, Dylan, say the line. He said, I will not speak about any woman that way, let alone this woman. and then I'll say it. And like, he didn't say it with the amount of venom as I just said. He was much more respectful about it. But yeah, at 13, 14 years old, these two boys were standing, and it is very unusual for kids to be like, I will take the bullet because I know it'll never kill me. But they would do that. Like, they would vary if something went wrong, and they, like, the bosses were like, props, get props in here. They're like, no, I was messing with it. I was da-da-da-da-da. Like, they understood the assignment.
So I don't know that about them. That is impressive.
Oh, like,
Impressive.
yeah.
Wow.
Stellar, brave, incredible human beings.
Evolved.
Yeah.
So if you could have done a Freaky Friday episode, and your character's body is going to switch into another character's body, whose character would you want your character to switch into?
Okay.
Like a Freaky Friday, but not like Kim.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So if my answer is, sorry, I'm onto the stick. If my answer is, I'm trying to narrow down all of the parameters now because my brain is not specific enough. If my answer is someone who is not human and has powers, would I still retain their powers, or do their powers go with them? In other words, this is also hard because I'm trying to separate from me, the actor, from the storyline. Fuck, this is really hard to slow my brain down. Do I still have powers if I say Lucifer?
No, they would have their powers in your body if they went into your body.
So Kim would get to play Lucifer with all of Lucifer's powers, and meanwhile, Mark Pellegrino would have to be Jody and figure out how the fuck to be Jody.
No, he would take his powers with him, she said.
Yeah, because Kim would now be playing Mark Pellegrino playing Lucifer. Welcome to the inside of my brain. Nobody's ever going to ask questions like this about it. But that's, yeah. So in other words, Kim is answering the question. Right. And Kim wants to play Lucifer, but inside this body. And Kim wants to see Mark Pellegrino playing Jody inside that body. So that's what I think would be fun.
My name is Rachel. Hello. Hi. I just wanted to ask you guys, if you hadn't gotten the roles that you have now, and you had to play a monster or a villain from the show, which one would you do?
I would have wanted to play Eve, but I would have liked, do you remember Eve, the mother of all creatures? I got to play her for a second, but I would have wanted that character to continue, because that was fun. Just being such a bitch. Oh my God. But not really. She was just a bitch because she's like, I can. And you all are stupid. Stupid little humans. That's what it was like. And it was just like, I never got upset except for the one time I had to, oh my God. I had to bite Jensen. I had to bite him. I was like,
you poor dear.
I know. I was like, we're doing the whole scene and getting them to finally. I was getting. That's a very small man. I was nervous. I was like, what do you just do? Bite people? These two. And I said, Jensen. He's like, just do it. I'm like, just. And he's like, yeah. I mean, I think that it's a weird thing to bite someone. Bite down, you have to like put your teeth on someone. That's just very odd. Very weird things we as actors get to do. But yeah, so there was that one moment of temper, but otherwise it was very funny. So, yeah. And then they killed me. Again, and then they killed me.
Ladies and gentlemen, how lovely are they? They're actually not bad girls at all.
Thank you guys.
Bad isn't cool. Samantha Smith, Kim Rhodes, give it up! What you gonna do when you're not going to do that girl? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you're not going to do that girl? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you come home? Bad girl, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when you exits. Please give it up for the one and only Misha Collins! That's your theme song.
That's my theme song. I should play that at home.
Yeah. Just by yourself.
By myself when I wake up, play the song. Remember the good old days? People used to applaud for me.
Good
Hey
plan.
kids, this is my song. Listen, shut up, Dad. I want to listen to Katy Perry. Play Teenage Dream.
Kids, have you heard my song?
Thank you, but I don't think you can speak for everyone. There's a few people here who are like, no, I actually hate that guy. Hi.
Hi, I'm Anna.
Hi, Anna.
I'm wondering about if you can give us a little more information about your food show. Road food.
I have been working on the show for PBS called Road Food, which is carrying on the legacy of Jane and Michael Stern, who were this couple who left Yale in the 1970s to go on a road trip, and they never stopped. They ended up burning through 38 cars, I believe, over the course of 40 years. And they had this, their idea was that they were going to try every restaurant in America. And their math wasn't great, because that's not possible. But they went to like 7 or 8 restaurants a day for years. And so Jane and Michael Stern started this kind of movement of actually paying attention to local dishes in off-the-beaten-path places in the country. And when they would write about these places, what they were trying the food and they were reviewing it, but not from a snotty critic's perspective. It was just more like, well, that was yummy. And at the same time, they were actually getting to know the people in these communities. So their first book that they wrote together was really about, actually Jane wrote the first book, but it was actually about truckers. And it was through the lens of truck stops around the country, but it was actually this sort of, couple of like intellectuals from Yale doing an ethnography of truckers in America, but really it was an ethnography of America through the lens of food. So I am, I guess, trying to carry that torch a little bit, and I'm traveling around and using food as an entry point to get to meet people in communities that I wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity to talk to. I'm a politically progressive individual who travels in certain circles. My friends are all kind of like-minded, and I really wanted to have an opportunity to get to know die-hard Trump supporters and not get into a fight with them, but actually try to understand, so we could actually try to understand each other and see one another's perspectives in the world. And so I just got back from the yesterday I was in the eastern shore of Virginia in this island. Yeah, it was really, really cool. And I was on this island called Tangier, where there was an election on Tuesday. 200 people on the island voted, and 5 of them voted Democrat. I had fascinating conversations with die-hard Trump supporters that I would never have had occasion to have if I weren't making an effort. So, and using, in this instance, crab as my entry point. So, for me, it's just been a fascinating exploration, and I am finding it gratifying for me along the way. Hopefully, people who watch it will feel something similar. I don't know. But anyway, you weren't expecting such a long-winded answer, and neither was I, and I'm sorry for that. Thanks.
Like I'm a big 24 fan. How is it like to play a bad guy?
My character wasn't a bad guy. What? He was simply a Serbian assassin. Oh, so now all of a sudden all Serbian assassins are bad guys? That's prejudice. Shame on you. It was a lot of fun. I had a funny experience on that audition because I went in for the audition and it said, in the script it said, you know, Eastern European. Went in, did the audition, and I went in and the casting director was like, please don't try to do an Eastern European accent. And obviously, like all afternoon, actors have been coming in butchering an Eastern European accent, and everyone was like, can we just stop with the accents? No more accents. So I did it without an accent, and then I left, and it was at the studio, and I walked all the way across, it was like half a mile away in this big parking lot. And I hear someone yelling, Misha, come back. There was a casting director, like, running, sweaty. He was like, can you come back, but can you do it with an Eastern European accent? I was like, well, why didn't you just ask me to do it with an Eastern European accent in the room? So I did, and I got the part as a Serbian hitman. And then I decided to make it like the sexiest accent I could find, and Eastern European accents, that's a lot, like it just said in the script, Eastern European accent, and there's a wide swath, so I wound up with Hungarian, which has this sort of lilting, vampire-ish quality to it. And then a couple episodes later, in the script it came out that my character was Serbian, but I had already established a Yugoslavian Hungarian accent, and the Hungarian accent is opposite of a Serbian accent. So, and then they hired real Serbs to play my siblings, who had real Serbian accents. So it looked like I just couldn't do an accent. It was completely unfair. The Serbian accent is more like a really nasal, sort of flat, like a monotonous kind of, there's no changes in the intonation. Hungarian is like this, you know, it's totally opposite. So I ended up looking like a really terrible actor, once again. Thanks for bringing that up. One of the actors on the show came into the makeup trailer after I had been working on the show he was black, and he came into the makeup trailer after I had been working on the show for like 5 episodes, and we had just won an Emmy, and he said, isn't it great that a show with us minorities is finally getting recognition? And I was like, well, here's the thing. Okay. Hi.
Hey, Misha, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. So I wanted to know if there's a supernatural movie or like a miniseries in the future, do you have any ideas of what you would want to see happen?
I like the meta episodes, where, you know, it's like the supernatural, well, like the French Mistake or something. But I like the idea of a reboot where it's about the actors who have gone on to be washed up actors who everyone is like, oh, are you okay? And they're at a fan convention, and there's not a terribly long line for their photos, and then something happens, and you know, we have to actually be our characters or something. That would be fun. So I would love some sort of I think that could make a good, funny, fun movie. So that's my pitch for you. Do you have any connections with anyone at Warner Brothers? What loose ends do you want to tie up? Well, I'll tie you up. What Okay, she can't talk, she's like,
My question is, supernatural and mythology have inspired, I know many of us, to create several different works, whether it be through TikTok or art or fiction. So I was wondering what types of these things you have seen and what your opinions on them were? What your opinions on them were?
have the fans created any art? I was unaware. Well, I can tell you this. I mean, when I first got on Supernatural and first went to a fan convention and first was presented with a pillow with a needlepoint portrait of my face on it, I was like, oh my God, that's me. And my ego got a little rush, and then I asked, how long did that take? And she said, like, oh, I don't know, 3 months. And I was like, what? No, don't spend 3 months on that. But do, because it was my face, which is cool. And so when there was an earthquake in Haiti, shortly after I started on the show, it was in season 5. And I tweeted, like, hey, here's the UNICEF page, people don't, like, let's donate for hurricane relief. And there was this flood of money that came in. Like, I woke up the next morning and it was almost $30,000. And I had seen all of this incredible art that people had been creating at the conventions already. And it wasn't just needlepoint portraits of my face. It was also needlepoint portraits of Jensen and Jared's faces. But like, it's just amazing things. And I was aware of like this, you know, fan fiction that was online, like a lot of creative energy going into that. And so I thought, oh, what if we collectively were able to channel that into some nonprofit, charitable work? And so what I think of it is like there's a tremendous amount of creative potential there that we, as a community, have actually over time been able to tap to do some really cool things, including just encouraging one another to be creative and artistic. So anyway, Random Acts, I would say, my nonprofit that I started, and Gish, the scavenger hunt that I run, are both responses to the fan art and fan creativity that I saw, and have, you know, been so much fun to play with. So I love it. It inspires me and makes me want to be a better artist myself. How's that for an answer? Oh, thank you.
Hi, love you, by the way. I'm just wondering if you're going to write any more books or poems or any other works of art in the near future.
I hope so. Yeah. I got a very small advance for my poetry book because the publisher and other publishers were like, yeah, that's nice, that's cool that you want to do that. No one's going to buy it. And I just got an email yesterday from the publisher offering me a very large advance for a next book, which the parameters were whatever you want. And that was very lovely to get, but I also, I don't know what I want to write or if I want to write another book right away, so I just said, well, let's talk about it some other time, because I don't really know what I want to do, and I'm trying to take a little bit of time to contemplate and, I don't know, I guess decompress, reassess, figure out what the next step is.
New York Times bestseller.
I'm glad that you said New York Times bestseller, so I didn't have to. Oh, I guess I just did. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, because now I have to change all my business cards. It's got to be like, New York Times bestseller, Misha Collins. My email address. I'm not from the South, but I do know what that means.
A few years ago, you were on Jason Mann's Christmas Friends album. You sang the 12 Days of Christmas. have you thought about putting out a little record or singing a little something? I know you have a beautiful voice.
Well, thank you, and I have thought about it. I thought, don't do that. You know, it's funny, my daughter doesn't sing on key, to put it mildly, and yet she sings with such gusto and so boisterously. And she writes songs all the time and wants to be a singer and is performing songs that she's written for the younger kids at her school. And it's so lovely to see. There's nothing that makes me more self-conscious than singing. Like Saturday night, the actors come up and sing on stage here, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. There are a couple of things that make me really nervous, and one of them is singing in front of people. I can sing to myself well, and that's about it.
Would you sing quietly to yourself?
Do I sing quietly to myself? Are you asking me to do that right now? Are you trying to trick me? Yes. I'm not as dumb as I look.
If you do sing quietly to yourself, just record it.
Just record it. Okay. Good idea. Trick myself into recording a song. Thanks for the tip. What? Okay, but she'll unfortunately sing along.
Hi, my name is Amanda Yasi, and I was wondering if you find yourself pulling Cass out in like your day-to-day life, just like in more serious situations or anything like that.
Does Cass just come out in conversations?
Yeah.
Say yes.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes like with the kids when they're fighting with each other, I'll be like, hey, don't be an ass butt. And then I catch myself and I'm like, oh my God, sorry, I don't know why that came out like that. I'll just wait here then for you to respond. It's awkward, isn't it? Yeah. She's like, I don't know what to do. He's still talking to me and I've left the microphone and now I'm frozen.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? I love your uniform.
Thank you very much, thank you. So I was gonna say, I love Cass and his lines, and your delivery of the lines is like what makes it so amazing. And I was wondering if you could say the, I'm the one who gripped you tight and raised you from perdition.
No. I don't even know how to say that anymore. I'm the one who gripped you tight and raised you from perdition. Normally when people ask me to say things in the Cass voice, I'm like, no, I'm not your dancing monkey and I'm not going to do that. But then I just did the Cass voice a minute ago, and so then it seems like that's not fair. I was just doing it. Why would I say no to you? So now you painted me into a corner where I had to do it. You win this round. Thank you.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Jensen.
Hi.
So during the beginning of the pandemic, you released your phone number to do like massive text messages to all your fans. I just want to thank you personally because as a medical professional, we had some extremely dark days, and getting those random just pops of like, hey, I'm thinking about you, don't forget about me, tell me how your day is going, made the world a difference for us.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear. I didn't actually do it to help, I just did it to annoy people, but I'm glad that someone had that experience of it. So, thanks for saying that. What work do you do in the medical
I'm a
profession?
radiologic technologist for Duke University.
So, was that a particularly tough year for you, I imagine?
Absolutely, COVID sucks.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry for the trauma that was, and thank you for sticking with it and keeping people alive for the last couple of years. It's been really hard, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
do you have a favorite artist? And if you don't have a favorite artist, what is your favorite fan art?
Do I have a favorite artist?
Yeah.
I don't, yes, probably Christo and Jean-Claude. They're an artistic duo. I don't know if you know their work, but they do these massive, or they don't do, because Christo's dead, but they do these they did these massive installations that would cost like $20 million for each one, that would take up entire landscapes. They did this one with giant umbrellas dotting the Southern California hillsides. It was just arresting and beautiful and on this incredible scale. Some of those umbrellas got picked up by the wind and dropped on cars and killed people, but I like art that kills. Yes, do you have a Christo Jean-Claude work for me? Oh, that's your artwork.
Yeah.
You're my favorite artist.
I was just wondering, can I hand this to you?
Yes. Thank you. That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you. You too. There's glitter in these eyes. Nice detail. Yeah, I think sometimes people say, oh, like why spend so much on art when there are other things that we could be spending money on that's of real value, and that's something that I categorically disagree with.
Which stunt or power was the hardest to pretend to do?
Which stunt or power was the hardest to pretend to do? I had a hard time, some of the things, so early on the show, we had to do more things practically, which means like with some makeup or appliance or something like that. As we got later in the show, technology improved and they were able to do stuff with CGI. So for instance, demons who had black eyes, they wore black contacts for the first 3-4 years that I was on the show. And then after that, they would just make their eyes black in post-production on a computer, and they didn't have to bother with putting in those contacts. So likewise, when I first got on the show in Supernatural, there were things that Castiel had to do, like when I would, put my hand out and explode a door or something like that. I had to actually do that. Another example is when we had to go time travel back to see the parents. I had to really do that. It was hard. It was. Thank you for recognizing that.
Hi, Misha. I'm
Hi.
Jessica. How are you doing today?
I mean, the other thing that was hard, sorry. Where are my social skills? Pardon me for a moment. I want to finish my thought. And then you say, sorry for interrupting you. I'm kidding. One thing that was hard was that stupid angel blade in my sleeve, which was such a weird thing that we decided to do at some point along the way. I decided, I think, at some point. I was like, they were like, oh, you have a knife in this scene. And I was like, how do I have an angel blade? Like, where has it been this whole time? And they were like, I don't know, Misha, we just gotta go. Can you just have an angel blade? And I was like, okay, how about if I do like this magical thing where I pop it out of my sleeve? And they were like, okay, that's weird, but fine, whatever, we're in a hurry. So then I established that my character was always popping the angel blade out of his sleeve, but acting perfectly normal the rest of the time. Like, where is that blade? If my arm is articulating like this, where is it? And why is it not falling out until that moment when I go like this? And I got better at it with time, but in the beginning I'd be like, hey, Ashley. And then I drop the knife down, and of course, drop the knife. Whoops, I didn't catch it in time. So it took me a little bit of practicing on that. I'm talking to you even though I know you didn't ask the question. Cool.
Would you be willing to give a prompt for fanfic? There's a lot of alternate universe where Dean is a baker or a mechanic, or Cass is a professor or a poetry writer. What profession would you assign to each of them for a 2021 fanfic prompt from you?
Okay, Dean is a custodian at a fast food restaurant, and Castiel is president of the United States. You're the very last question in a never-before-seen phenomenon where every question is answered potentially. But get to it, because these people are waiting, and everyone is waiting, everyone is ready to get going and move on with their day. And you're the last one, sort of holding it up a little bit at this point. So just in the interest of getting it on, getting it done, give us a question, and we will be on our way, because we are falling a little bit behind. There's photos, we have to do photos now. Everybody needs to get to that. So just know that the entire audience is waiting for your question. It's the last one. And if we can get through it, it'd be great, but we might not have time if you don't ask. Yeah, we're actually running over at this point. Shoot. I feel like we might not have time. Damn it. They're getting mad at me.
What is the best advice that you've been given as an actor, especially for auditions?
Wait. What is the best advice you were given as an actor for auditions?
No one can ever prepare you truly for auditions.
I got some advice from someone when I was early on in acting in LA. This girl in my class she was like, we'd do some acting class scenes, and she would always be weeping and like tears streaming down her face. And I was like, how do you do that? Like so quick in a scene where you just picked up the script and haven't worked on it at all. She's like, it's easy. You just don't blink and you stare at a light. And so I went into an audition after that where I was like, this would be a good scene to cry. And I'm doing the audition and I'm staring at a light, trying not to blink. And I just, of course, looked completely crazy.
Misha Collins!
I got 2 words for you. Festive cups.
Yeah, tis the time of the year for festive cups.
No, it's not. That's the thing. It's like we just had Halloween, and now we've got. Come on, people, give it a minute.
Are you telling
Let it breathe.
Are you telling me you don't have Christmas lights up?
No, I don't keep mine up all year, Jared. Though I'd like to. What? Yeah, sing the Applebee's song.
I don't know the Applebee's song.
You know the Applebee's song.
Fancy like Applebee's. I actually don't. I'm seeing a sign. Fancy like Applebee's.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we bougie like Applebee's all day.
Okay, I'm gonna avoid that.
I'll teach you later.
All right.
I'll teach you. You guys all around for the big panel this afternoon? Yeah. Jared's gonna sing the Applebee's song.
You, are we going to get any more iPhone music videos from you anytime soon?
Listen, you know, people had to do some stuff during COVID. That's what I did. So, hopefully it doesn't take another pandemic for that to happen. We can maybe get something together. But yeah, nothing planned. Maybe when I go direct a certain television series. Maybe we'll also put together like a fun little video on the iPhone.
Applebee's?
Maybe. Yeah. Dude.
I'm so confused by what's going on.
Dude. Game on.
Done.
Y'all done messed up now.
I would like to know if you had one totally selfish wish. So
Safest wish?
Selfish. Nobody benefits but you, just for you. Selfish wish. What would it be?
Ooh, for all the children in the house. Stop. for them to be mad?
Stop it.
Okay, selfish wish. You know, I think, I wouldn't say a wish so much as I will say, you know, being a father as Atkins is as well, and seeing my dad with my kids, my mom as well, but being a dad. I hope I get to see my grandkids, because then you can, I hope I get to meet them, and I hope I'm around long enough. Because then you can just like play with them, but when they poop, just hand them back to me. So it's like, all right, I'm in. Because I think for a while I felt like grandpa or whatever, because you know, we'd come in for a day, and I'd be like, here's some candy, here's a toy, I'm out. So I feel like I'm built for that.
Yeah, no, I think the easiest answer and the honest answer is something when you have children, that's what you wish and hope for. And for those of you who don't have children, when you have children, all of a sudden your life doesn't become about you anymore.
Yeah.
And so the thoughts and the wishes and the selfish hopes become about somebody else. And I think that you know, my oldest is in 3rd grade now, and I know, right? Like, you basically stopped my heart. And she's now coming home with those like bullying stories, and I don't hope for that never to happen, because I think that for a lot of people that's a part of the journey. I got bullied as a kid. But that helped me in certain areas. So I honestly hope for a well-adjusted human being, however they get there. Because that's really hard to get there for people. And I hope for that. And if you know, if she's not, or my son's not, or my other daughter's not, then we'll deal with it. But that's what I hope. That's my selfish hope.
Questions just for Jensen.
Great.
I have him for support.
So obviously you have a nice face and you've blessed us with your nice voice, but your wife also has a nice face. But what is the chances of her blessing us with like maybe a duet or a feature on your next album?
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. And here's the funny thing is, like, Danielle can actually sing. Like, she's got a nice voice, but does not use it and will refuse to. She's like, nope, that's yours. So
you go do your thing.
Yeah, you do your thing. I'll be right here humming along. That's all that is.
When Supernatural is put in the Smithsonian, what items would you like to put in there that represent your characters?
Me.
And I'd like a taller wax version of me.
Taller? Really?
Yes. A little bit more.
Yeah, because you're height deprived.
I think the Demon Blade, I think the Samulet.
Where is the Samulet?
Dad's journal. Gosh.
The car. If it's Smithsonian call,
is it bigger? Yeah.
I would drive it over. Be like, on my way. I'll drop it off. Yeah. We'll drop it off personally.
Yeah. And a plaid shirt.
That's it. No, a plaid quilt.
Somebody make
of a multitude of shirts. That's there's a lot to choose from.
What's the major difference between playing Sam and Dean and your new characters playing Winter Boy and Walker?
Good question.
Walker and Soldier Boy.
Yeah. Awesome.
I got it. I was with you.
My Walker is a little, has got, 15 shades of walking, 15 shades of 15 seasons of watching this guy. He's a little bit more off the cuff.
It's Sam with a cowboy hat. And Soldier Boy's Dean with a superhero outfit. That's it. That's all it is. Yeah, he's. Which character do I like better? Oh, Dean.
Which children do you love? Which child do you love the most?
No, that's an easy one. Dean. He'll probably be kind of the foundation of most of what you see moving forward.
Sam, for me, taught me so much in my time as Sam, next to Dean, taught me so much, and that's almost like which child you like better.
All right, blue plaid right there. Yeah.
I'm supposed to choose the plaid shirts.
I got a plaid memo. You clearly didn't.
Oh, I know. Well,
Sunday plaid.
I did bring a plaid shirt, but it's really thick, and I was like, I'm gonna be a
This is
sweaty
thick. I'm sweating. Yeah.
That's their
All right, here, hold this.
That's for the afternoon panel. During the Applebee song.
I apologize.
Please don't apologize for that.